Hello, welcome. It's November 1st, and this month we are tracking my yarn usage. I mostly see people track their yarn usage by saving the labels of their yarn, which is a really simple way to do it, and I enjoy seeing it that way. It kind of evens out when using half skeins and stuff like that. Except I can't do that. Most of my yarn looks like this. No label, but mostly full, but not entirely full. This is 70 grams. Or no label, small. No label, halfway. So we have a little kitchen scale, and then I can weigh my yarn before I start a project and be like, oh, this is 9 grams, and then I will like make a part of a project with it. This is usually an accent color for me. And then I'll weigh it again and I'll be like, oh, it's 7 grams now, and then I note down that I used 2 grams of that color. I will note this down in this little notebook right here. Finally using one of my notebooks. I could be doing this digitally, but sometimes I already shut off my devices for the day and I still use more yarn, so little notebook. I will at least write down the amount of yarn used in grams. And if I can be bothered to, I will write down which type of yarn it is. So for these yarns, I would just write down regular chenille, not the colors. I don't think tracking that matters. And when I'm working on the big uppa, I'll write down like extra bulky chenille. And when I use this, I'll just be like cotton. When I'm working on my blankets, I'll just write down the actual yarn. So like if I work on that brick stitch blanket, I'll write down like tea time yarn, stuff like that. And then maybe at the end of the month I know which yarn I used the most. I'm expecting it to either be this yarn, the big uppa yarn, because that is extra bulky, or if I manage to get to it, if I'm an actual speedy motherfucker this month, I will maybe use a lot of acrylic for a colorwork blanket I have scheduled. That blanket, by the way, is colorwork and would use many colors in a small amount of blanket size. In which case I will be weighing the blanket, not the yarn, because it's too many colors. I'm not weighing each individual skein. This is a really cheap kitchen scale, so I might be off by a few grams, but I think over the course of a month it'll be roughly accurate enough. You know, like maybe for a single day it will be 2-3 grams off, but it both goes over and under, so it should even out. Wonderful, lovely. I also had the fun idea to, at the end of the month, kind of like look up what weight yarn that I used, what animal that corresponds to, like how heavy that an animal is on average, and then my yarn, and then I can be like, oh, I used, I don't know, a small cat in yarn this month, you know? That's the plan. I will update you tonight when I know how much yarn I used today. I'm quite busy today, so maybe not a lot today, but definitely later in the month I will have bigger updates. I'm excited. Maybe let me know what you expect me to use. How much yarn do you expect me to use? I don't know. I have never tracked this before. I'm interested. I want to know. See ya. Hello, good evening. It is November 1st, it's 10 p.m. and I am going to bed. Today I was decently detailed in my tracking, as you may be able to tell. In order, we used spooky Discord notification, muted. We used 2 grams of cotton for this guy's little eyes. Then we used 17 grams of chenille to finish his body. Then we used 98 grams of chenille to make this guy and an additional 2 grams of cotton for his eyes. And then we used 102 grams of chenille to start another squid fella. That totals up to 221 grams of yarn today. That's much more than I was expecting to crochet today. I was in waiting mode for a lot today, which means I get crochet done. Yay, yippee, nice, proud of this number. And just for the funny sillies, I already looked up an animal comparison for that because I wanted to know what animals weighs 221 grams. And the result is a long-haired rat. Yes, I love that. I used a long-haired rat's equivalent of yarn today. It's actually kind of hard to find animals by googling the weight. I just started googling rodents and what they weigh. I was like, hamster weight was 130 grams. I was like, damn, too small. And I googled guinea pig weight and it was like nearly a kilo. And I was like, damn, too big. And then I went rat weight. And then it showed me a bunch of different rats, which that was useful. And then I spotted this fella who was 220 grams, which is the closest I'm gonna get to 221 for real, because it's averages. Cool. Yeah, I think the closer I get to around a kilo, the easier it will be to find stuff. Maybe I will look for an animal again when we hit 7 days, like a week in. Yeah? Fun? First update. Bye! See you tomorrow! Hello, it is November 2nd, it is 8:30 and I'm calling it a day crochet-wise. Today I have used 89 grams of yarn, 2 grams of cotton, 10 grams of chenille to finish up a hobble squid, the green one that I started yesterday. And then I used 75 grams of chenille to make a little bear. And then I used 2 grams of acrylic on a little swatch of knitting to figure out the size I need to make a sweater vest for that little bear. That puts us for the first 2 days at a total of 310 grams. I don't have any opinions on that. I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night. See you tomorrow. Hello, good evening. It is November 3rd, 9:15 p.m. I am calling it a day again, and today we used 85 grams of yarn. Let me see, we used 23 grams of scrap yarn to make a little sweater. Then we used 6 grams of cotton to put the sleeves and the border on that little sweater. We used 20 grams of acrylic to make a little sweater. And we used 2 grams of cotton to make a little bag. And we used 34 grams of chenille to start a second bear. That's all the yarn I used today. This little sweater, the little pink sweater, that took me forever because I knit it and I'm a slow knitter. Tomorrow, who knows? Hello, good morning. It is November 5th. Yesterday, November 4th, we used 226 grams of yarn. We used 40 grams of chenille to finish a bear, 75 grams of tea time yarn to progress on this blanket, 5 grams of cotton for this little bear purse, and the eyes for a Hubble the Squid. And then we used 106 grams of chenille to make this Hubble the Squid. Beautiful. Amazing. I will be back tonight to tell you what we did today. Hello, good evening. November 5th. We used 142 grams of yarn. Mostly assorted acrylics and a bit of velvet yarn to make accessories for the bear plushies. That was quite a good use of scrap yarns today. That was nice. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. Good number, good yarn usage. Good night. I'm tired. Bye. Good morning. It's November 7th right now. Last night I didn't do an update because I was sleepy tired and my head hurt. Yesterday I used a whopping total of 5 grams of yarn. I made a singular granny square during my lunch break at work. I mean, it could have been 0, it's something. Yay me! I'll update you later. Hello, good evening. It's the 7th. I have used a total of 341 grams of yarn. That's a new best. I am struggling to phrase my excitement because I'm very sleepy, but we're just gonna have a neutral face about it, I guess. I've made 70 of these. That's why we use that much yarn. And because it's the 7th, that means we've been tracking yarn usage for a full week. And in this full week, we have used 1,109 grams of yarn. That's like a bunny. That's like our cat when we first got her. Oh my god, Neo, I used baby you weight of yarn. Wow. She does not care at all. She's like randomly making loud noises every time I try to record something, and besides that, she's just kind of ignoring me right now. I think that's a good number. I think that's a lot of yarn. Like, it feels like a lot of yarn because one of those little skeins of this is 50 grams, and that feels like nothing. But when I hold something that is a kilo, that's a pretty hefty thing. So nice. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't know what is normal. I don't know the averages. Like, I'm assuming the average crocheter or the average knitter, because I've kind of been doing both, doesn't use this amount of yarn in a week. But that's also taken into account that there are a lot of people that do like maybe 1 or 2 projects a year, you know? So what's normal for people who crochet like a lot regularly? Is this normal? Is this still a lot? Is this a very underwhelming amount for people that crochet a lot regularly? I don't know. I especially don't know because everyone else that I've seen doing this is just tracking finished skeins like yarn labels. And all of those skeins have different weights and hook sizes and everything. So I have no clue what they've actually used. They're like, I used 50 skeins of yarn this month, but then it's like all 50-gram skeins, so it's not actually that much. Or they're like, oh, I only used 10 skeins this month, but then it's all like giant yarn cakes, you know? It's very hard for me to compare or visualize how much yarn. So I think this is the most efficient way. I'm happy that I'm doing it this way. I am also proud of this number. Maybe we get even more next week. I mean, yesterday I only used 5 grams of yarn. Or maybe next week I go into a phase where I just play Minecraft instead of crocheting. Who knows? Maybe next week's all 5 grams. We'll see. I will see. I will see tomorrow. You will see in a few seconds. Bye. Hi, hello, good evening. It is November 8th and today I used 334 grams of yarn, which that surprised me a little bit because yesterday we used 341 and I spent all day crocheting yesterday. But today I started in class at 1:30 p.m. ish. I made 10 of these squares and then I got home and I used 289 grams of chenille yarn to start on a blanket. Hello, it is the 9th. Today we used 246 grams of yarn, all of it chenille. I have nothing else to say about that. See you tomorrow. Hi, hello, it's the 10th. I used 873 grams of yarn today. 18 grams for this blanket. And the rest was the super bulky chenille yarn for the big appa. Good progress today. That's a big number. Good night. Hello, good evening. It's November 11th and today I used 166 grams of yarn. Let me see. 8 grams of that was small velvet yarn. And the rest was regular chenille, just like this type, you know, not the super bulky like yesterday that went whack. We're just making regular sized guys today. 166. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Hi, hello, it's the 12th and I used 127 grams of yarn today. Bye. Hi, it's the 13th. Today we used 58 grams of yarn, like 7 grams of that was chenille to finish a plush. That was almost finished last night, and the rest of it was thinner yarns like this basic acrylic and this finer wool and some cotton yarn, stuff like that. 58 grams today. Cool, see you tomorrow. Good morning. I lied yesterday. I ended up using another 20 grams of yarn before going to bed because I couldn't sleep. So we used 78 grams of yarn yesterday. It was on this project. 78 grams of yarn for the 13th. It is now the 14th. We'll see what I do today. Bye. Hi. The 14th I used 94 grams of yarn. I forgot to update last night. Okay, bye. Hi, hello, it is the 15th and today we used 29 grams of yarn. I spent a lot of time gaming today, don't worry about it. 29 grams. Bye. Hi, hello. On the 16th I used 10 grams of yarn and on the 17th I used 26 grams of yarn, all cotton. I spent most of the weekend gaming instead of crocheting. Hi, hello, let me move the yarn off the scale. It's the 18th and I have used 72 grams of yarn today. 59 grams of wool and 13 grams of cotton. Awesome, see you tomorrow. Hi, hello, on the 19th I used 15 grams of yarn and on the 20th I used 42 grams. It is now the 21st and we'll see what I do today. Bye. Hello, it's the 21st. I used 79 grams of yarn today. Some wool and some chenille. Cool. See ya. Hi. On the 22nd we used 32 grams of yarn, all cotton. Right, Neo? Okay, bye. Hi, hello. The 23rd I used 23 grams of yarn, 17 cotton and 6 chenille. Bye. Hi, hello. It is the 24th now. And today I used 125 grams of yarn. Bit of cotton, bit of wool, bit of chenille. Bit of everything. Nice. I will see you tomorrow. Hi, hello, mini updates, multiple. On the 25th I used 10 grams of yarn, sock weight yarn, so that was like a lot of sock weight yarn, but a lot of grams. Then the 26th I used 5 grams of yarn to sew together some granny squares. And that's all I did that day, besides weaving in ends. And then yesterday, the 27th, I used 78 grams of yarn. First to finish this blanket. It's 48 grams. And then to progress on this one, and that was 30 grams. See ya. Hi, it's the 28th. I used 53 grams of this yarn. And I recaked it because my center pole was kind of falling apart. See you tomorrow. Hi, on the 29th I used 35 grams of this and then 5 grams of yarn to sew together a blanket. And now it's the 30th and we'll see how much yarn I used today. I have a full day of work today, so probably not a lot. But it's the final day. Are we excited? I am excited to count this up. Hi, it's the 30th. I'm sitting on the couch because I wanted to sit with my cozy star blanket. Yes, comfy, nice. Today I used 62 grams of yarn. I just like finished the skein I was working on for this. I went to work today. I did not have a lot of time to crochet. It's the 30th, so I get to count up my totals. I'm gonna say I was definitely using more yarn the first half of the month than the second half of the month. But the second half of the month I was using lighter weight yarns. So that takes longer per gram. So
None of these. Hi, Neo. Oh my god, hi. You want to join? Look. None of the ways to measure yarn really makes sense to me because saving the labels doesn't really tell you much, and the grams also different. Why is your face wet? Criminal? She came from the kitchen. Okay. Anyway, this is the way that makes most sense to me. So in total, for November, I used 3,623 grams of yarn. That's a lot. That's like 3.5 kilos more. And I said I was gonna look up an animal that has that weight, but Googling like a weight number and then what animal that weighs like 3 kilos, you don't actually get results. So I've just been Googling random animals and what they weigh. So 3.6 kilos roughly, or 8 pounds, apparently. Small sloth, medium fox, big rabbit, or Neo. Neo weighs 3.5 kilos. Right, Neo? We used you in yarn. How do you feel about that? I'm gonna be honest, it feels like I used a lot more yarn than this. This does not feel like a lot, but I used this much yarn. Oh, that's so fun, Neo. She does not think it's fun that I used her weight in yarn. Anyway, yeah. 3.6 kilos. Were you expecting more or less? I don't know. I wasn't really expecting anything. Like, maybe I was expecting more from the trend of the first week, and after the first week I kind of stopped adding it up before, so it was a surprise. I'm happy with this. Bye, Neo. I'm happy with this. That's good. That's nearly a kilo per week. That's a lot of yarn. That is a lot of yarn. I'll be doing this again next month, so I will be measuring my yarn again tomorrow. Immediately. But for you, it's gonna take a while. Let me know if you're interested in that. I'll start it anyway, because if everyone goes, oh, I want to see next month, and then I didn't start it, we won't be having any of that. But if you're interested, let me know. And maybe I will do it for longer than that. I don't know yet. I don't know. It wasn't a big effort. It was fun. This was enjoyable. I did not dislike this. 3.6 kilos. Holy shit. Thank you for joining. Bye. I will see you some other time. You will see me some other time. I won't be seeing anyone. Unless you comment. If you comment, I might see you. Probably. Bye.